This is Calvin Chastain. It's August 5th, 2001. We're in beautiful downtown Lyon Mountain, New York. Last time we were here, we were seeking shelter to get in out of the torrential downpours as the Florida Nationals played the Lyon Mountain Miners. Today, we're seeking shelter to get out of the blistering sun. It's a hot, humid Sunday morning. And whoever said only mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the noonday sun, I'm going to be wrong today, because I know there are very few Englishmen up here in Lyon Mountain. A noontime start of the first of what could be a doubleheader. Lyon Mountain, the #1 team in the Champlain Valley Baseball League this year, against the Altona Hornets. It's been a couple of years since the Altona Hornets were the league champions. Altona was league champions 2 seasons ago. Altona in the visiting orange and gray, and Lyon Mountain in the home is the home team with the blue and gray. The crowd is a little sparse as we get set for game time. I'm sure the heat and humidity are encouraging people to find something else to do. The ace of the Champlain Valley Baseball League, Nick Chase, will be on the mound today for Lyon Mountain. His battery mate will be Jerry Kowalski. At first base, it's Tommy Kowalski Jr. Second baseman is Jamie Jutman. At shortstop, Gary McGee. And at third base, it's Nick Dubray. In the outfield from left to right, it's Steve Dubray, Scott Baker, and Scott Petroshoon. Good day to dig out the tanning lotion today. Officiating the game is Chauncey Nubby O'Connell behind the plate, and on the bases will be John Wood Jr. This game is the semifinal contest in the Champlain Valley Baseball League. The winner will go to the finals. If it's Lyon Mountain who advances from this 3-game series, then they will have the home field advantage for the championship round, which will take place 2 weeks from today. A week from today, on August 12th, they will have one 9-inning game at the home site of the team with the lesser record. Then the following weekend, the 19th, they'll have a potential doubleheader at the home site of the team with the better record. So Lyon Mountain, the top of the league this year, if they go to the finals, they will have the home field advantage for the last weekend of the season. And Hometown Cable would expect to be here, although circumstances sometimes prevent us. We've missed several things this year due to various illnesses in the family that prevented us from being where we would like to have been for Hometown Cable. But family, of course, unquestionably comes first, and everything else is a distant second. There is no first, second, and third when it comes to family. It's family, then everything else. All right, leading off for Altona is J.R. Joubert. He's the right fielder. He'll be followed by Chris Brunell. Here's the first pitch of the game. Call the ball here a couple minutes after noon. Then we got Steve Perrier, the shortstop. Jamie Labarge. There's a strike. Dennis Labarge, Dave Beatrice, Greg Bolas, Chad Owen, and Scott Mitchell. Danny Brunell is the coach for Altona. Bill Chase and Bill Dernan Jr. coaches for Lyon Mountain. Lauren Parker coaching at first base. Dan Brunell coaching down the third base side. Foul tipped off the foot of Kowalski. It bounces out all the way back to the pitching rubber, all the way back to the edge of the mound, I should say. Fatigue. Yes, fatigue is going to be a factor in today's game. The players can find some shelter once they get back to the dugout, but if they spend any time out in that field, they're going to come off very drained. Ball hit to the third baseman. So it goes from Dubray to Kowalski, and we have one down. And I'll bring up the left fielder, Chris Brunell, the left-handed hitting. Chris Brunell looks down at Dan Brunell to get the signs. And Chase is set. Fouled off, strike one. I was unsure if I was going to make it to today's game. My second son was in the hospital for the last 3 days, but he was released this morning, so after we went down to the hospital, I swung up here to Lyon Mountain. Got here to the field, got to Lyon Mountain probably about 11 o'clock, actually about 10:30, and fiddled around for a while, and picked up a soda, and hit the short. McGee fires to Kowalski, 2 down. Left to the field about 11:15, an hour and 15 minutes for the game, and Lyon Mountain players had been here long before that in preparation. Now Steve Perrier, the shortstop. And we want to thank Steve and family for renewing their viewer patronage. Steve came over before the start of the game, says, hey, we're going to renew our viewer patronage and add Emily's name to our list, our new baby. Line shot, and that's foul. Chase checks the ball, make sure the cover hasn't been ripped off from that swing. And the pitch. A little high and outside. Outside. I believe that's ball 3. Jamie Labarge on deck. Strike called. That could be a full count. We'll watch O'Connell here. Full count. 2 outs, nobody on. Top half of the first inning. Second game of the semifinals. First game was played last week. That's ball 4. Perrier will hustle to first base. And he doesn't know how to walk. He runs. You see him chatting there with Tommy Kowalski. Both of these teams, Lyon Mountain and Altona, in the Northern Adirondack School District. Not all the players are from Altona and from Lyon Mountain, but majority of them are, and of course that made them teammates back in the high school days. So these guys are friendly rivals. Great deal of respect for each other and the camaraderie. But they're out here to win. This is Jamie Labarge, a powerful catcher, cleanup hitter. Last week's game, I should say, not last year's game, but last week's game, Lyon Mountain was helped by a bunch of errors. That's hit deep into the corner. Looks like it's going to be foul. Foul ball. Did it hit the truck? Did it hit the vehicle? Maybe so. Like it hit the side of the truck. Yeah, you gotta expect that when you park there. So last week, that ball gets away. Perrier will round second, and he decides not to test Jerry Kowalski's arm. Last week, paper said 6 errors for Altona, but everyone seems to agree that that was very low. We've heard 11, 12, and 13. 11 came from the team coach, Dan Burnell, we're going to go with that. But at any rate, Altona, with all those errors, really contributed to making it a Lyon Mountain victory. Altona's going to score in the first inning here as Steve Perrier slides in an RBI single by Jamie Labarge, and Altona's on the scoreboard first.
Hi there, 50-50.
Now the Hornet pitcher, Dennis Labarge, steps in. I have a courtesy runner speed-up rule. Catcher and pitcher are allowed to be run for. I'm going to assume this might be Travis Connors, the only player not in the lineup for Altona. I'm going to assume that the speed-up rule runner here is Travis Connors for Altona. Labarge fakes the bunt, or goes for the bunt, and it's a strike. Ball gets away, but not enough for Connors to attempt second base. With 2 outs, walk to Perrier. A pitch that went to the wall. I'm not sure if it was a wild pitch or a pass ball. Sent Perrier to second, then a single by Labarge, and Altona's on the scoreboard.
Stay on top out there, Nick. Stay on top, big guy.
High. Connors is going. He's going to be out. He is out on the attempted steal. So a run for Altona after 1/2. It's Altona 1 and Lyon Mountain come to bat here on Hometown Cable. Dennis Labarge, who will lead off the second inning for Altona, is the starting pitcher for the Hornets. His battery mate is his brother Jamie Labarge. At first base is Chad Owen. Second baseman is Dave Beatrice. Shortstop is Steve Perrier. And at third base, Greg Boris. In the outfield from left to right, Chris Brunell, Scott Mitchell, and J.R. Jubert. Travis Connors, the only non-starter. The batting order for Lyon Mountain. Nick Chase will lead off. He'll be followed by Peter Kowalowski, Jerry Kowalowski, Scott Baker, Tom Kowalowski, Jamie Jutman, Gary McGee, Nick Dubray, Steve Dubray, with Scott Petrishun, the right fielder, not hitting. On the bench are Adam LeBaire, Liam Mahoney, and Kyle Kowalowski. Labarge toes the rubber. And we are ready for the bottom half of the first. 1-0 ball game. First pitch is swung on, hit to Boris at third. Fire to first to Owen in time. And Nick Chase is erased. It's 1 out. First ball hitting. Now I'll bring up Peter Kowalowski, Northern Adirondack varsity baseball coach. He's getting set at the plate. And a pitch from Labarge, taken for ball 1. Strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch is in the dirt, 2-1. Strike 2, evens the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Pitch from Labarge, swung on, hit on the ground to second. Over to first for the out. So that goes from Dave Beatrice to Chad Owen. 2 down, Jerry Kopolowski, the Lyon Mountain Miners catcher, will step in.
Jerry. There you go. Thank you.
Strike one. First 2 batters for Altona were outs, and then the walk to Perrier opened the door. Hit sharply down the third base line. Nice stop by Boris. Over to first, nothing leaves the infield. And after 1 pull, it's Altona 1, Lyon Mountain nothing here on Hometown Cable. Altona pitcher Dennis Labarge will lead off the second inning. He was at the plate when Connors was thrown out. Here's the pitch from Nick Chase. Taking a little high, ball 1. Top half of the second. Game 2 in the best of 3 semi-final round of the Champlain Valley Baseball League. Hit to straightaway center field. Baker is at the fence, makes the catch. A long fly ball by Dennis Labarge, and he is erased, and there's 1 down. Game 2 in the best of 3 Champlain Valley Baseball League semi-finals. Lyon Mountain leading in the series 1-0. So if Altona pulls out the win, we'll go to a decisive Game 3. This is Dave Beatrice, the second baseman. And if he doesn't pitch in the first game, then he would be a possible starter should there be a second game. We asked Scott Baker, the Lyon Mountain center fielder, I said, before we got the lineup, I said, is Nick Chase going to be pitching the first game or the second? And he said, he's pitching the first game, there's not going to be a second. So I said, great, we got us a quote here. That's fouled off. Only baseball stands in the North Country with a roof over them. A lot of Lyon Mountain fans over to our right here. The only ballpark in the area where fans can get out of the weather, either the heat on a day like today or the rain like it was the last time we were here. 2 down, and Altona third baseman Greg Boris, the batter.
Here we go, pop out.
And the pitch. Ball 1.
Here we go, come on, Jake.
Every once in a while we get a little breeze here and it feels downright comfortable. Looks like a 2-0 count. Chase not happy with that call. That's a little high. That's going to be ball 3. 3-0. Chase knows that a walk led to the run in the first inning. With 2 outs, there's a strike. On deck is Chad Owen, the first baseman. That's high and tight. That's ball 4. So Boris draws a base on balls. He'll go to first base. And once again with 2 down, Altona has a man on board, and the batter, Chad Owen. First baseman replacing the legendary Todd Lambert. That's in the dirt, ball 1. Line shot. That's in the gap. There'll be runners at the corners. Baker picks it up. And it'll be runners at the corners, so Owen comes through with the single. Difference this time is Perrier was able to go to second in the first inning on a ball that got by and went to the backstop. This is Scott Mitchell. Runners at the corners, and you have to wonder, will Altona have Owen trying to steal second? Chase pitches to the number 9 hitter, swing and a miss, strike one. They come by all sorts of transportation to see these ball games, including horsemobile.
Out there. Don't get down on yourself. Come on. Stay focused. Stay focused.
That's yanked foul.
Stay focused.
Hard hit, but he was out in front of it by quite a bit. Well, Nick Chase, the most successful pitcher in the league the last couple of years, finds himself in the second inning jam in a game he's trailing 1-0. That's low. Walk would load him up and bring up the top of the order. So far, Owen hasn't even thought about stealing second. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So, Chase gets the big K to end the inning as Mitchell goes down swinging. And we go to the bottom of the second. 1-0, Altona leading Lyon Mountain.
Baker, Tommy, Jamie, McGee to hole.
Just what we need on a cool day, the Iceman. Scott Baker, cleanup man for Lyon Mountain, will lead off the bottom half of the second inning. 7-inning ball game. Last week's game was a 9-inning game because they only played one. Today, a possible doubleheader, so they'll be playing 2 7-inning games. Second one only if necessary. Lovage delivers. High. 1-0 Altona leads. I'm going to make a bold prediction here. I'm predicting this will not be a 1-0 ball game. Hit to Perrier. Nice charity hop over the first to Owen. We have 1 down. Baker's eliminated. Now first baseman Tom Kowalski Jr. steps in. Strike 1. Free admission to these ball games, but they do go around with a 50-50 raffle. And most fans appreciate that and chip in. They also sell a few Michigans here in the nearby snack bar, which is probably about 10 feet away from me. Lovage delivers, swung on, line shot to right field, and it is squeezed for the out. Tommy Kowalski with a line drive, but taken by J.R. Joubert for out number 2, and it'll bring up Jamie Jutman, the second baseman. Lovage takes a long look, winds, and time is called. Time is called. 2 outs, nobody on. Bottom half of the second inning.
Here we go, Jamie. Here we go, buddy.
Semi-final baseball. Just misses high, ball 1. One and 1. Foul tip. 1-2. Chauncey Nubby O'Connell calling the balls and strikes. Line shot, that's going to be foul. Line shot, that's a base hit to left field. See if he'll stretch it into 2. He's going to settle for 1. Oh, Lyon Mountain has their first base runner as Jamie Jutton comes through with a 2-out single. For the potential tying run on board, Gary McGee, the shortstop, will step in now for the Miners. 2 outs in the bottom of the second. LaBarge glances at the runner, delivers. Strike 1.
Hey, I don't want to start pulling him down like he's doing. I don't think I should have to. Come on, Max. Come on, Max.
Through the right side, that's a base hit. Hubert will get it in. We're going to have runners at the first and second. First and second, 2 outs. Jutton only got the second base on that, so a little surprising. Now Nick Dubray, the third baseman, will step in. So a potential go-ahead run is on, potential tying run at second base, 2 outs. And Nick Dubray, the batter. Bill Durnan Jr. at third base, Bill Chase at first base. Got the official scorebook.
All right.
Looks like they had the old hidden ball trick over there, and apparently Jutton was on the bag, or at least the umps didn't notice that he wasn't. Foul ball, strike 1. There's the pitch. Off the fist. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble. Nope, excuse me, it was caught in left field. I lost track of that ball. Looked like it was a looper, but it hung up there and is caught by the left fielder. Apologies for not getting that on camera. So Dubray, a soft liner to left field, ends the inning. Lyon Mountain is scoreless in their half of the second. After 2 full, it remains Altona 1, Lyon Mountain nothing here on Hometown Cable. Jason R. J.R. Jubert leading off for Altona. Hits a rocket down the third baseline. That's going to be a base hit. Ball is bobbing in left field. Jubert's going to try to stretch it. He's going to be safe as the ball. If it had been fielded cleanly, we don't know what might have happened there. But Jutton trying to hurry the throw. The ball turned just a little bit before the ball got in his glove. But I think Jubert would have made it. So I'm going to give him a single, and extra base on the misplay in left field is how we're going to score it. Now Chris Brunell steps in, and suddenly Altona has an extra man on board here with nobody out. And the 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up. So Altona having another threat here in the top of the third. Here's the pitch. Brunell with the bunt. It's a foul ball.
Keegan, what you got now? You took that. That's the little girls. Go put it back.
That's hit to Right center field, Baker's there, makes the catch. There'll be no advance on his arm. Throw goes through to third. Now tried to advance the runner, but no luck. One down. And Steve Perrier, who walked and scored the only run of the game thus far, will step in. Gets the signs from Coach Dan Burnell, and I'm sure he's telling Steve Perrier, if you like it, hit the darn thing. Oh, Nick Chase. Perrier at the plate and Jamie Labarge on deck. Strike one. That's what you call having your work cut out for you. Strike. At 0-2. I believe it's an 0-2 count. And the pitch from Chase. High. Should be 1-2. 1-2. 2-2. Lyon Mountain fans wanted it. That was high. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. 1-0 in the top half of the third. Perrier gets a bat on it. Protecting that plate. Get the bat on the ball, but it's a fly ball almost directly at the left fielder, Steve Dubray. So that's 2 down. And now the cleanup man with the only RBI of the ball game, Jamie Labarge, will step in. He's the catcher. His single in the first inning scored Perrier with 2 outs, so he's up here in a similar situation. Chase has had to worry about base runners every inning. Left runners at first and third last inning. McGee trying to block the base. Joubert, long arms, able to get in there. Somebody with shorter arms might have been out, but J.R. Joubert's got long arms. Chase a little impatient out there, so what's Labarge doing there? I want to pitch this ball. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit sharply. I think Pavlovsky caught it in the air while he was holding it up. A bullet to Tommy Kay Jr. And a big play there by the first baseman. That definitely would have scored a run. So plays like that just as important as a run-scoring double. It remains 1-0. Altona leads. After 2.5, we're going to the bottom of the third here on Hometown Cable. Left fielder Steve Dubray will lead off the bottom of the third. Top of the order to follow. Look to right field, it's going to drop in. No Dubray dancing around at first base. Leadoff single. Helping up Nick Chase now. The game progresses. The people who are going to get the most fatigued are, of course, the pitchers. So I think we're going to see some runs scored in this game. This is a hot, merciless day for the pitchers. But plenty of liquid between innings. Here's a pitch from Labarge. That's bunted, foul, and out of play. Looks like the questions are here. Fine viewer patrons. Another bunt. Ooh, it went off the chest protector of O'Connell. I had a clicking noise, so maybe it hit that flap that hangs down under his chin. Oh, Chase was trying to bunt the runner over, but he's going to have to swing away. I believe that was strike 2. That's going to be a balk. The ball squirted out of the hands and glove of Labarge. He's starting to go into his wind-up. Dan Brunell's gonna argue otherwise. He started to go into his wind-up, but Labarge's not arguing it. He knows it's a balk. So that'll put the runner Dubray at second base.
Here we go, Nick. Come on, buddy.
Nobody out.
Here we go, big inning. Come on now.
Labarge has to just forget about that and worry about the batters. Checks the runner, delivers. Hit to Perrier. No advance. Little Perrier firing to Chad Owen. And the ball hit to the left side. Runner Dubray stayed put. Now we have Peter Kowalski, a lefty hitter. Had Chase been able to get that ball over to the right side of the infield, Dubray would now be at third base. 1 out, man in scoring position, 1-0, Altona leading Lyon Mountain. Pitch from Labarge is taken for ball 1, just off the plate apparently. Labarge takes a lot of time between pitches. Working very deliberately today. 2-0.
You can got your ball. When you bring back the ball,
Strike call, 2-1.
I saw that.
And Labarge's pitch swung on the ground, to the right side. It's to score the tying run. Joubert picks it up, fires it in. No, the run does not score. The run does not score. Joubert firing it in, so we got runners at the corners. As Pete Kowalski comes through with a bouncing single. And I bring up Jerry Kowalski, the catcher. So it's still 1-0. Double play would end the inning. So that's what Jerry Kowalski has to avoid. Hornets just had a little conference to decide what they're going to do. If they're going to worry about Pete Kowalski, he's about 40 years old, whether he'll try to steal. And they also have to decide whether they want to infield in for a play at the plate. I think they're going to be at double play depth here. Pitch to Jerry Kowalski is a strike. Runners at the corners, 1 out. Potential tying run at third, go-ahead run at first base. In the third inning, this will score the run. It deep to left field. Throw will come to the cutoff. And taking no chances. DeBray scores. Kowalski gets a sacrifice. Taking no chances, Pete Kowalski stays right there at first base because he knew he tried to get the second and he was tagged out before DeBray scored. There would have been no run there. So now Scott Baker steps in. It's a 1-1 ball game. Two outs. Runner on first. In tight. A little chin music there for Baker. LaBarge delivers. Another tight one. 2-0. LaBarge trying to pitch him tight so he can't extend those arms. There's a 2-0 delivery. Low, ball 3. 3-0. Well, now we'll see if he'll give Baker something to swing at 3-0, and we'll see if Baker has a green light on 3-0. In tight. Well, Baker walks on 4 balls. Runners at first and second. And the batter is Tommy Kowalski, who made that great play to end the top half of the inning. He's got a chance to do something here on offense now after that great defensive play. Peter Kowalski at second. Scott Baker at first. LaBarge checks the runner, goes to the plate. Strike one. We're in the 3rd inning. Semi-final game. Lyon Mountain wins, they go to the finals. If Altona wins, they'll go to a decisive game 3. Strike 2 call. Altona fans grumble a little bit. Excuse me, Lyon Mountain fans grumble a little bit. Altona fans were happy with that one. That's high, nothing close there. That's 1-2. Ahead 0-2 in the count. LaBarge hoping to get Kowalski to do a little fishing there.
Good secondary lead, nobody around you.
1-2 pitch is swung on. Center field. It's squeezed by the center fielder Mitchell. So a run for Lyon Mountain. They've tied it. It's 1-1 after 3 full here on Hometown Cable.
Chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk. Nothing like it. Breakfast of champions.
Oh. Hey, next one, right?
All right, who we got here? Dennis LaBarge is leading off in the 4th inning in a 1-1 ball game. We'll get him in focus. Hot, sunny day in Lyon Mountain. Strike one. Chase delivers. 1-1. Off the fist. And DeBray takes it in left field. McGee giving way. So that's 1 down, and second baseman Dave Beatrice steps in now for Altona. Chase winds and delivers. Strike one. Dave Beecher's almost out of the batter's box. And that ball is there. You're going to be having a running bunt. You better make sure you're not out of the batter's box. Strike 2. 0-2 the count. Top half of the fourth, 7-inning ball game. That's fouled off. Count will hold at no balls and 2 strikes. Chase delivers. That's high. 1-2 the count. Strike 3. Adam leaning on the outside of the plate. 2 down. Beatrice goes down swinging. Now Greg Boris, the third baseman, steps in. Ball 1. Memory serves me, Boris singled his last time up there. 1-1. One and 2. Hit to short, McGee over to Kowalski. 3 up, 3 down. That's the first 1-2-3 inning for Altona. After 3.5, halfway through the ball game, it remains Altona 1, Lyon Mountain 1 here on Hometown K-Ball. Jamie Jutton at the plate. We're in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Dennis LaBarge working for Altona. 1-1. Two and 1 the count. And the pitch. It's high, ball 3, 3-1. LaBarge pacing around, doesn't want to walk that leadoff man here in the 4th. Taking a lot of time between pitches today. Strike 2 called. Full count. Foul off. Over the roof. Off a car. Ball 4 just missed. Jutton gets a free pass. Just missed with that one. Awfully close to be taken for a payoff pitch, but Jutton took it. Now we have Gary McGee, the shortstop, stepping in. Swings at the first pitch to the left side. Boris is there. 1 down. Now Nick Dubray will step in.
Here, come sit right here.
Strike 1. That's popped up. Jamie Labarge going back. It's off the roof. Off the roof. That'll be a strike. One out, one on. 1-1 game in the fourth. Bottom half. Champlain Valley Baseball League semifinals. Time was called. Now we'll get ready. Here we go. That's popped up again to the left side. Steve Perrier back at third. 2 down.
Come on, Doobie. Here we go, Doobie. Here we go, buddy.
Now Steve Dubray scored the only Lyon Mountain run. Is at the plate. You're watching Hometown Cable viewer-supported television. I want to thank once again Steve Perrier and family for renewing their viewer patronage. Appreciate their support. Hit to third. Boris goes to second for the out. So after the leadoff walk, Lyon Mountain fails to capitalize on it. They go down 1-2-3. Nothing out of the infield. It remains 1-1 after 4 full here on Hometown Cable. Chad Owen takes strike one to start the fifth. A 1-1 ball game. Nick Chase delivers. 1-1 off the plate. Chase contrasting. Labarge works very quickly, hit to center field. Baker is back and looks like he almost misjudged that one. Just enough stretch to haul it in. Scott Baker looked like he almost misjudged that one and just enough to pull it down. So Owen gave it a ride. He would have been standing on second if that had fallen in. This is Scott Mitchell now. And a pitch from Chase. Mitchell trying to bunt his way on. It's foul ball, strike one. Strike two. Top of the order, J.R. Joubert on deck. Check swing. Foul ball, Lauren Parker almost made the hat trick. Almost had a hat trick. If he was 4 pounds lighter, he would have been able to get that one. Just 4 pounds between him and that ball. Swing and a miss, strike three. 2 down. And now J.R. Joubert will step in. Asked Lauren before the game if he was available for pinch running duties. He said 50 pounds ago I would have, but not today. Two outs. Pitch to Joubert. Swung on, hit to second base. Jutman over to Kowalski. Altona goes down 1-2-3 in the fifth. Go to the bottom of the inning. It's still Altona 1, Lyon Mountain 1 here on Hometown Cable. Nick Chase, top of the order up for Lyon Mountain in their half of the fifth.
No, this one's 2 back.
Labarge winds and delivers Strike one with the curve. Chase fooling that one. Just enough to get the wood on the bat. Taken by Owen, we have one out. Now Peter Kowalski wiggle his way in there. Jamie Labarge setting the defense. Dennis Labarge into the windup. Foul ball. Foul ball. Off the plate. 1-1 to count. One out. To the left side. Playable. 2 down. So we'll bring up the catcher, Jerry Kowalski. It's a rough day for pitchers, but catchers too. Labarge and Kowalski both have to get a lot of stamina to get through today, particularly if this ends up going a second game. Jerry Kowalski, first ball hitting, hit to shallow center field. 3 up, 3 down. As Mitchell squeezes it for the out. Nothing across for Lyon Mountain. We go to the 6th inning. Still tied 1-1. An important go around here as Altona sends up their 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the 6th inning. A big inning offensively for Altona and defensively for Lyon Mountain. Chris Brunel to face Nick Chase in the top of the 6th. Here's the pitch from Chase. Ball 1. Hit to right field. It's playable. And it is caught. Looked like it gave him a battle out there. At the right fielder, Joubert. Excuse me, that's not Joubert. Joubert's the Altona right fielder. Right fielder, Scott Petrisham making the catch. Now Steve Perrier steps in. Nods at third base coach Dan Brunel. Nick Chase winds and delivers. Ball 1. Ball 2 just off the plate. Strike call. 2 balls and a strike. Now 3-1 to count. Ball 4. So Perrier gets another base on balls. Chase has treated him with kid gloves today. But it brings up the very dangerous Jamie Labarge. A lefty hitter. Ball 1. Ball 2. Dennis Labarge on deck. Chase glances at Perrier, comes to the plate. Ball 3, 3-0. Labarge reminding Perrier there's one out. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Strike call. Just barely in the strike zone. 3-1. Chase doesn't want Perrier to get too comfortable there at first base. Strike 2, full count. Full count. There's the payoff pitch to Jamie Labarge. Fouled off.
Oh my gosh, this is a good game. We got more on this side that want it. You have a good arm, sir. Look at that. Thank you, sir.
Repeat of the payoff pitch. High, ball 4. So the potential go-ahead run moves to second base. Jamie Labarge on at first, Steve Perrier at second, just one out. And Dennis Labarge stepping in for Altona. Chase glances in. Strike 1. Dave Beatrice on deck. There's one out here in the 6th inning. Tie ball game. Line drive, base hit for Dennis Labarge. This will score the go-ahead run. The Perrier will score. Ball gets away from left fielder Dubray. And now allow Dennis Labarge to get into second base. On under the glove of left fielder Dubray, Scott Baker, the center fielder, had to go back up to play. So that makes it 2-1 Altona. Runners at second, third. 2 runners in scoring position for Dave Beatrice with 1 down. Talking with Coach Dan Burnell before the game, and he didn't know who would be pitching game 2 if there were one. Hit to right field. This will score a run. This is going to make it 3-1. Jamie Labarge scores. Dennis Labarge goes to third. So 3-1 lead for Altona. Beatrice gets the sacrifice fly, and now Greg Boris steps in. 6th inning, it's getting late in the game. Here's the pitch from Chase. Strike called. Shallow left field. McGee is back. He'll grab it. Altona picks up 2. Lead it 3-1. We're going to the bottom of the 6th. Champlain Valley Baseball League semifinal play on Hometown Cable. Lyon Mountain sending up their 4, 5, and 6 hitters here in the 6th inning. Trailing now by a 3-1 margin. Scott Baker, the Iceman, the leader now. He'll be followed by Tommy Kowalowski, Jamie Jutton with Gary McGee in the hole. Dennis Labarge with a 2-run lead. He's got to be getting tired. First pitch just misses. That's ball 1. Strike 1-1. Didn't go around. Didn't go around, says John Wood. First base ump as O'Connell appeals to him. I don't know. That was close. That was close. That could have been called either way. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 to Baker. Fouled off. I think if you'd had a secret ballot with players from both teams, there would have been very few that would have thought that we'd be seeing Game 3 in this series. That certainly looms as a possibility here now with Altona leading. But they've got to get by some big batters here just off the plate. Full count. Bottom half of the 6th, 7-inning ball game. First of a potential doubleheader. Altona has to win to force a decisive third game. Champlain through the left side. Baker battles Labarge and gets a payoff pitch single through the left side. Now Tommy Kowalski confers with Bill Durnan Jr. They can't worry about 1 run. They need 2 to tie this. Lead batter is on. There's a bunt. Takes him by surprise. Gonna be out. Is he called safe? Bang, bang play. I thought they had him. I thought they had him. We're going to get a pinch runner here, I believe. We get a pinch runner for Tommy Kowalski. Looks like, I believe this is Kyle Kowalski coming in to pinch run. Peter Kowalski's son. So Tommy Kowalski put down a surprise bunt and legged it out. And suddenly the potential tying run is on board for Lyon Mountain. And Jutton at the plate. Jamie Jutton in the batter. Gary McGee on deck. Nobody out. Runners at the corners. 3-1 the score. Altona better not worry about that runner at third base. And to a certain extent, the runner at first can only tie it. They got to make sure the go-ahead run doesn't get on base. That should be their biggest fear. The runner at third, they should not be concerned about. The runner at first can only tie it. When the bottom half of the 6th, late in the game, you don't want to get that tying, that lead run on board here for Lyon Mountain. Jamie Jutton in the batter. Hit him. Hit him. That's certainly not what Labarge wanted to do there. They've got him right on the elbow, too. Right on the elbow. Nothing funny about the bone he got hit on. That's the last thing that Labarge wanted to do. That loads them up, puts a tying run at second and a potential lead run on base. Looks like Jutland wants to stay in. Should probably come out, get a pinch runner, put some ice on that elbow. Looks like he wants to stay in, but I think he'd be better off. Get a pinch runner in there, ice that elbow. A reminder, we're in beautiful downtown Lyon Mountain. 5th day of August 2001. Gary McGee stepping to the plate. Bases loaded, nobody out. Altona leading 3-1. Potential winning, what might be the winning run, at least the go-ahead run, potential go-ahead run is on board. Tying run potentially at second. Strike one to McGee.
Come on, four.
Foul ball. With a cheer that went up, must be a lot of foul ball fans here in Lyon Mountain. And they were all cheering when that ball left the bat.
Get up, Liam! Good secondary, Liam.
Liam Mahoney is the runner at second base, not Kowalski. Liam Mahoney is at second. Okay, yep, I see him. I recognize him. Liam Mahoney running at second. He's a potential tying run. Labarge delivers. Here's Steve Perrier just on the edge of the grass. He's ready for a play at the plate. Swing and a miss. Strike three. McGee goes down swinging. One down. Big strikeout there for Dennis Labarge. Now a couple of Dubrays up for Lyon Mountain. This is Nick Dubray. Labarge trying to pitch his way out of a bases loaded jam. Bases loaded, nobody out jam. Ball one just misses. Strike 1-1. Labarge delivers. O'Connell's not going to appeal it. He knows that if he didn't see it, umpire would. With the base loaded, he's playing in back of the pitcher. He's umping in back of the pitcher. He doesn't have the first base angle on that one. So it's strictly O'Connell's call there. It's always O'Connell's call, but we can decide if he wants to appeal it or not. To right field, this will score a run. And somehow Mahoney is still at second base. Mahoney did not tag. I would have thought Mahoney would be at third now. I would have thought he would have tagged. I would have thought Mahoney would have tagged and be at third base, but he did not tag. He is at second. It's just a 3-2 ball game, so this could be a critical move here as Steve Dubray steps in. 2 down, 3-2 now. Looking ahead to the 7th inning. Altona will lead off with their 8 and 9 hitters. Dubray is the Lyon Mountain number 9 hitter, so if he doesn't get on board, Altona will lead off with the top of the order in their half of the 7th. First pitch to Dubray is off the plate. Wild pitch or pass ball, Mahoney could score the tying run from third, but he isn't going to score it from second base.
2 outs, go on contact!
There's a pitch from Labarge. Popped up. Dennis Labarge calls for it. After having him loaded with nobody out, Labarge has to be very pleased with the turnout of that inning. Altona hangs on to the lead. It's 3-2. The Hornets lead the Miners as we head for the top half of the 7th. Chad Owen swings at the first offering in the top of the 7th, strike 1. Looks like I believe Dan Burnell will be batting. Pitch from Chase. Grounded foul. Dennis Labarge coaching at third. I would want my pitcher sitting in the dugout relaxing, but Labarge's probably too pumped up to sit there, but he needs to save his energy if I'm Altona. I want him sitting down, saving his energy for that 7th inning. Top of the 7th. Slow roller, it's going to be trouble. Chase over to Kowalski, 1 down. No, Darren Burnell will not be pinch hitting. He was off somewhere. Now he'll go coach at third. Off the roof. This is, I believe, Travis Connors pinch hitting here. I believe this is Travis Connors. Pitch from Chase. Strike 2. On the ground, to the right side. Tommy Kowalski Jr. will take it just in time for the second out. 2 down. Now J.R. Joubert steps in. Leadoff hitter up here with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Altona leading 3-2. Nick Chase going the distance for Lyon Mountain. Pitch to Joubert. Ball 1. Fouled off, 1-1. Chase taking his time. Now the pitch. That's hit up the middle. Base hit for Joubert. And Joubert on with a 2-out single. Lauren Parker reminds him that there's 2 down, and now Chris Brunell steps in. He wasn't anywhere near that ball. Strike 1. Strike 2. Chase delivers. 1-2. Nice stop by Jerry Kowalski. 2-2. Ball 3. Full count. Steve Perrier waiting on deck. I think Chase would rather pitch to Brunel than Perrier.
Stay right here.
Strike 3 call. Brunel goes down looking at one that he thought was inside. We're going to the bottom of the 7th. Altona leads 3-2. Trailing by a run. The 7th inning of a 7-inning ball game. Lyon Mountain will send their number 1, 2, 3 hitters up. Top of the order up. Altona hoping to hang on to send this 3-game series to a decisive 3rd game. Dennis Labarge delivers to Nick Chase. It's strike 1. Error was a big factor a week ago. Today we haven't seen, well, just maybe a misplayed ball in the outfield. Base hit. Chase is on. Leadoff single. The potential tying run is on board for Lyon Mountain. Now Peter Kowalski confers with Bill Durnan Jr. They'd like to get the winning run in, but before they do that, they have to get the tying run in. Altona should worry more about the winning run than the tying run. You always play for the win when you're the visitor, but that's the theory anyway. I say when you're on defense, in this case here, you play for the tie. You don't want to get that potential winning run on board. Ball 1. Altona
Hey, Tom. Tommy.
protecting against the bunt.
Okay.
There's the pitch. Ball 2. The third baseman Boris comes charging in every time. If Kowalski swings away and hits it down that left field side, Boris could be eating that baseball. Bunted. Foul ball. Boris trying to catch that in the air. 2-1. 2-1 the count.
Is that it right there, Eddie?
That's bunted in the air. Labarge will squeeze it. Well, Pete Kowalski trying to bunt him over. Pops it up. 1 down. Now catcher Jerry Kowalski, the batter. All right. One and one. Cleanup man Scott Baker on deck. Labarge to the plate. Out of the strike zone. Kowalski reached for it. Pops it up to Owen. 2 down. But all is not lost for Lyon Mountain, their cleanup batter. Most likely to hit it over the fence on the team, Scott the Iceman Baker. Not sure if Jamie Labarge is stressed here. He's doubled over. Dan Brunel out. Jamie Labarge out to talk to his brother Dennis. Using up some time here, I think. Looks like Jamie's not feeling well. Needs some water. He's getting tough job behind that plate. Getting some water in him. We've had several football deaths this year within the last week or so in this summer heat. Well, Labarge got another game ahead of him, but he's going to have enough energy to catch another one. If Altona hangs on, we may find out. But Scott Baker could make that next game unnecessary. So 2 outs. Tying run at first. Bottom of the 7th in a 7-inning ball game. Winning run at the plate. He pitches Baker in tight. Ball 1. Baker got under it. Chad Owen makes the catch. Stayed in play, but that was a moot point. Altona did not expect to take this first game. Dan Brunel had no plan for who his second game pitcher was. He said, I'm just going to get through this first one, then I'll have 15 minutes to worry about it between games. Excuse me. 3-2. Altona defeats Lyon Mountain by a 3-2 margin, and that's the way it was on this August 5th, 2001. Hometown Cable will be here for the 3rd and decisive game. So watch your local listings. That's Ken Perrier. This is Calvin Castine. We are at the Scioto Field in beautiful downtown Scioto in the town of Chazy for a little action in the Clinton County Firemen's League. This is first round, opening round of the playoffs. The visiting team, Morrisonville, Keysville Firemen against the Altona Veterans. We're going to be roaming around. We're going to follow the shade. Temperature, depending on where you were, may have hit 100 on this Thursday afternoon, August 9th, 2001. Our original plan was to be in Montreal for the possible last ever appearance of the St. Louis Cardinals against the Montreal Expos. And we say possible last ever because you never know if the Expos will be around after this season. But we were there last night, and that press box was about 100 degrees, so we brought along our good buddy Bill Chase and his son Nick Chase, and after 8 innings we decided to head back for the States. And I decided not to go back to Montreal tonight, even though it might probably be the last, hopefully not, but it'll probably be the last appearance of Mark McGuire in Montreal. Good news, Terry Perrier is going to play with a shirt on. Good news. Bill Stranahan, the first baseman, will lead off for Morrisonville, Keysville. Ken Perrier is doing the pitching for Altona. His battery mate, Darryl Mayette. At first base, it's Lee Guerin, the second baseman.